He goes to play for Popovich, and he's damn near one of their most valuable players in the postseason.
Would you want to play for Popovich or with LeBron James? If they could arrange a trade, a sign and trade for Kevin Love, and Kevin Love goes back to his home state of Oregon.
Not a math major. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 championships.
Right.
LeBron James, 1, 2.
Okay.
I would rather play for
period
Popovich.
of time for one guy, but okay.
I would rather play for Popovich.
I think I'd rather, without doubting Greg Popovich at all and conceding he's a Hall of Fame coach and a great coach, I'd rather play with the greatest player in the game, who's not reluctant to tell you he's the greatest player in the game either.
Tony, according to NFL insider Ian Rappaport, Commissioner Roger Goodell will dampen his finger and hang it in the air for a month before ruling on Tom Brady's appeal of his 4-game suspension due to Deflategate. Tony, I wrote a 54-page playbook filled with my greatest quotes.
Would you show that later?
In less time than Goodell will take pondering New England's latest cheating scandal. Should it really take this long?
Could you just hold that up to the camera so that everybody sees the big, sexy playbook? Should it take that long? They should have a decision announced this coming Monday. Everybody understands what happened here. The NFL wants to get the Patriots. They couldn't get Bill Belichick. They found a way to get Tom Brady. They ordered a report that found that Tom Brady or somebody did all these terrible things to the footballs, and yet it's a science so faulty that it cannot be replicated at all. It's a ridiculous punishment. You have Roger Goodell as, in my eyes, the prosecutor in this and the judge and the jury on appeal. He knows what he wants to do. Okay,
what's changed? That's
go
who
ahead.
He is.
Then issue it Monday. What are you waiting for?
Judge, jury, and executioner. No, it should not take this long. I disagree with you and agree with you because we've been making the same point while you were away. They don't want to get the New England Patriots. Roger Goodell wants to get a big white star to satisfy the black players that have been upset with his punishment.
100%
So I don't think it's about the Patriots. The Patriots drive ratings. They're good for the NFL. But if he could put Tom Brady's head on a spike, yeah, that's what he wants.
What if it's not fair? What if it's wrong? What if the science beyond the whole thing is wrong?
I think there's a cliche called life is not fair.
Well, then how is
the
it
NFL is not fair?
You tell me how Roger Goodell massages this so that everybody in the country and everybody in the NFL says that's the right punishment. He should never have heard this himself.
The NFL almost makes no decision about what's right. It's what makes the most financial sense, what's the most politically expedient. Again, I'm not saying it's right what they're doing to Tom Brady, but I know what's motivating Roger Goodell, and it's not about being right or wrong.
Roger Goodell is going to try and save his job through this decision, and I want to see the decision. But there is no reason this should take any more than, honestly, till Monday.
It's going to take a little time because he wants to pretend like he pondered it.
Serena Williams is the #1 seed at Wimbledon, which begins on Monday, when that decision should come out. In case you haven't looked, Serena has already won the Australian and French Open.
She is so dominant, so far ahead of the curve.
She's the best.
Of everybody.
But I think down deep in her soul, she wants that and is just trying to say, I don't want that in case I don't get it.
I think she's already said she's earned it. Give it to me now, and then I'll go win the Grand Slam, too.
Let's take a break, but coming up, Joe Madden says it's time to remove the umps from instant replay. Is that a smart suggestion?
And did a Chilean soccer player go too far in his manipulation last night?
Last night I had Chilean sea bass. I didn't watch that particular soccer game, but I actually did have. I went to the bomb. I had Chilean sea bass. Whitlock uses a lot of words, but let's see if he can use some quality ones in What's the Word? What's first?
It's blank that 7'6" Taco Fall says he'd rather be Steve Jobs than LeBron James.
It's refreshing. You would think that any athlete who had designs on a professional career would pick LeBron James, and LeBron James wouldn't be a bad choice. But this kid told Bleacher Report that he wanted to be Steve Jobs instead. And if you look at this, LeBron James is in the entertainment business, and Steve Jobs was in the innovation business. And this kid says he would like to go back at some point to Senegal. He would like to open a business. He would like to create jobs for people there.
And you know what he'll need to do with all that?
Money.
LeBron James's money. This is telling that he really doesn't have an interest in basketball. He plays it because he's tall, and someone over in Senegal told him he was good at it. He's not really into basketball. This is very telling. You make LeBron's money, then you go be Steve Jobs back in your home country.
How would you like to have Steve Jobs' money? The length of the arc of his career is much longer than LeBron's.
Steve Jobs isn't 7'6" and playing in the NBA. Steve Jobs would have been a great NBA player, then transitioned into being Steve Jobs.
Steve Jobs couldn't play in the NBA. Next!
Edinson Cavani should feel blank about receiving this red card.
Well, he should feel violated. Not only does the guy in red, and that guy is from Chile, come over and actually stick his finger in Cavani's private area, but then he falls down on the ground and Cavani gets tossed out of the game. And it's a 0-0 game at the time, so now his squad is down to 10 people and they end up losing the game. It's a lose-lose situation. Violated.
No, he should feel lucky. Who knows what was next? He got tossed out of this game and away from this crazy man, so he should feel very lucky. The guy's already stuck his hands down his pants, basically. He should feel lucky that he's not in that game anymore.
How does it turn out that the guy who commits that act and then falls on the ground, how does he convince the referees that he was somehow maltreated?
Because it's soccer, one of the most corrupt and poorly officiated. We think the NFL is poorly officiated. Soccer.
Next.
The last 4 minutes of the Portugal-Sweden under-21 game was blank.
It was strategic. Portugal simply passed the ball back and forth, and Sweden stayed on its side of the field and allowed this to happen. There was no attempt to score. That's because both teams understood if they tied, they move on to the next round, and Italy gets tossed out of that group. Italy should howl at the moon because this was garbage, and it looked terrible, and it should never have happened, but it behooved both the teams out there to tie and move on.
No, it was embarrassing. I want to go Herm Edwards. You play to win the game.
Not if a tie gets you to the next round.
You see all those spectators sitting around that stadium? That's not what they paid for, to see people stand around for the last 4 minutes of the game. That was embarrassing. You play games to win games. No one plays for a tie. That's like kissing your sister.
Really?
Last I heard.
Because in the big sexy playbook, you just said 5 seconds ago that you. I can't. I'm not going backwards. I'm not. Next.
Joe Madden.
You said soccer was corrupt.
I did.
Go ahead. Next.
Joe Madden is blank for saying nerds should take over baseball's replay system.
He's prescient. He's 100% right in this. If you have umpires reviewing other umpires, if you have officials reviewing other officials in basketball, if you have zebras reviewing other zebras in football, if it's ever close, they're going to back up their colleagues. They're in the same fraternity. But if you put a bunch of nerds in there, you have a chance to get something more objective and more transparent, and you don't have that collegiality that umpires have. He's right.
I completely disagree. He's dead wrong. I don't think getting a call like that wrong is a big deal. I don't think there's any motive to protect anyone in that scenario. I don't think there's. I know their skin
Did
is
you see
thin,
the call at second
but it's
base?
not that thin. It's just not that thin.
Didn't it look
Tony.
like the base was
It looked like they
safe?
got the call right.
No.
And if he had been overruled, I don't think the ref is embarrassed or the ump is embarrassed. They're not protecting the umps. He's dead wrong.
That's it. Seriously, I'm done here. There are no more words. We're taking one last break. Well, happy time, people. Happy 73rd birthday, Willis Reed, the captain and the greatest center the Knicks have ever had. The Knicks drafted Reed in the second round out of Grambling in 1964. Tonight, the Knicks start the night with the number 4 pick. The last time anyone the Knicks drafted in the lottery made an all-star team was Patrick Ewing.
You're calling Reed over Ewing like it's a no-brainer, like there's no debate about that.
There is no debate about that. It is a no-brainer. That's the team of my youth, pal.
Oh.
A not-so-happy anniversary, Tanya Harding. On this day 11 years ago, you had your last boxing match. Sadly, Tanya lost this fight decisively, finished her boxing career 3-3. But there's apparently going to be a Broadway rock musical based on Tanya Harding and Nancy Kerrigan. Can't wait!
Tanya, ahead of her time, had MMA had been around, she could have taken on Ronda Rousey and been a star.
That's right. Would have lost, though. Would have probably lost. Happy trails and trails and trails to Luke Ridenour. The veteran point guard has been traded 3 times in the past 3 days. From Orlando to Memphis, from Memphis to Charlotte, and then today from Charlotte to Oklahoma City. If he doesn't get traded tonight, Jason, he ends up with a pretty good team, don't you think?
I loved Uncle Luke coming out of Oregon. I thought he was going to be a star. Now he's just a traveling star.
Are you allowed to trade people on successive nights like this?
Absolutely. Why not? Someone obviously wants him. He's a very wanted player.
Do you think he'll be traded tonight and go 4 for 4?
Why not?
Go for the
Why not?
cycle. That would be the cycle,
the
wouldn't
Pacers
it?
would take.
No errors today. Up top, Jason. Up top.
Very good.
Here we go. We're running out of show. We go to the big finish. The Grizzlies got Matt Barnes in a trade with the Hornets. With the Hornets, didn't he just get traded the other day?
He did, but now the Grizzlies now have one of the toughest teams in the NBA.
He's
Tony Allen,
the angriest
Zach
player
Randolph,
in the NBA.
Matt Barnes.
The
They'll
angriest
fight
guy.
anybody. Drew Brees tells Ed Water, quote, that he's very convinced he'll win another Super Bowl. Are you?
No. I think losing Graham hurts them a lot. I don't think their defense is very good. They don't win in the Dome all the time anymore.
Sean
No.
Payton has fallen off a cliff. He's not what he used to be either.
The GM of the Montreal Alouettes thinks that Michael Sam will return to the team. Do you?
No, I think he needs to come to grips with he's not a professional football player. All of us go through what Michael Sam is going through. Those of us that play college football. We have to deal with the fact we're not good enough.
But he was
for
the
pros.
SEC Defensive Player of the Year.
I was honorable mention, honorable mention, honorable mention, all MAC.
Damn, you're good.
Jay Cutler says Jim Harbaugh is the man he'd like to play for. Your thoughts?
Does he have eligibility left after Vanderbilt? Is he going to go to Michigan? Because Harbaugh is no longer in the NFL. How exactly is that going to work out? You know who'd be happy? The Bears. Last one, TMZ reports that UCLA won't take Diddy to court. Is that a smart decision?
Yeah, probably. There was probably a check cut.
Really?
Yeah.
We're out of time. We will try and do better the next time, and I'm Tony Kornheiser.
And I'm